because I don't have any gray hair like Mr. Paul.
Hey.
So I am retired. I had a physical therapy practice here in Las Vegas for many years, solo practitioner, retired about 4 years ago. And I have to blame my wife for getting me involved in Atomy. I got to blame somebody. So, but I'm very appreciative. Initially, I had some interesting thoughts about another MLM, because most of us, I'm sure a lot of you too, have been involved in, are involved in, had been harassed by or whatever, but you have experience in MLMs. And I tell you, one of the things that really impressed me about this business was the fact that it's worldwide and your points travel worldwide, which is novel. Most of them don't do that. You have to have an individual business in each country. So this one is global, which is impressive. The other thing is that, and so therefore the points follow. But the other thing is about the social side of it, the personal side of it. All of you must do your homework on anything you do, and when you get involved in the business side of it, the comp plan, the ownership, etc., to me it spoke very highly. My personal experiences with speaking is not so much from the business side, but I feel more comfortable in the personal development. And so I've done that most of the time when actually every time I've had the pleasure to speak. And today's no different. Today's going to be a challenge because I'm doing something different. So I'm okay afterwards. You can criticize, just don't quit. So, but thanks to Kay and Paul, seriously, for having me. Every time I do speak, I do reference a book, and today's no different. So this book is called Ask, and it's by John Mason, and it's simple. You can see it's small and short. Oops, there we go.
Your face, your face. Yeah.
I can't find my face. It says, ask. Life's most important answers are found in asking the right questions. That's the title of this. You can see it's small, and I'm going to go through this book fairly rapidly, and I'm glad it's recorded because in viewing this, I think when we look at personal development, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we all go through changes in life, and that's part of life. So this is no different. But if you start asking the right questions, not just to yourself, but to others and those around you, I think that leads to success. So with that said, here we go. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm just kind of cross-referencing my notes here, so give me a break. Successful people ask the right questions. Quality questions equal quality life. Really important note that so much of us kind of hide in our shells. The Bible says, quote, ask you will receive. Ask and you will receive. Mm-hmm. Matthew 7:7. Another quote, you have not because you ask not. You have not because you ask not. James 4:2. So remember, it's the questions you ask. We oftentimes stay in our little shell and don't even reach out and ask either ourselves or questions to others. So it's not only the questions you ask, but the questions you fail to ask. So I'm going to spend the majority of this time going through some questions. So bear with me. I'll be quick, at least I hope to be, and then I'll finish up thereafter. Napoleon is quoted as saying, quote, impossible is a word found only in the dictionary of fools. What words are found in your dictionary? Some of these are going to be right to the heart. If you don't have a dream, how are you going to make a dream come true? Are you known by promises you don't keep? Ooh, I like that one. Have you noticed 99% of the things you worry about don't ever happen? Do you make decisions from positions of confidence or fear? By the way, these first questions, there's three groups in this. Those first questions are looking inward to us. The second one is looking outward, and third is looking upward. So, are you a winner or a whiner?
We know, I know. I know that's very, yeah.
Now, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
If you don't know where you are going, how do you expect to get there? How do you act when the pressure is on?
Yeah.
Really, really interesting, because all of us are different, aren't we? Are you already disappointed with the future? Is it a long way from your words to your deeds? Kind of like talk is cheap. Do you judge each day by not the harvest, but the seeds you plant? How old is your attitude? Our attitudes change, don't they? Are you making a cemetery out of life by burying your talents and gifts? What is your mission in life? Is it written? Are you moving toward that life mission or away from it? Has failure gone to your head? Are you always ready to live, but never living? Ask yourself, if I don't take action now, what will this ultimately cost me? Are you becoming ordinary? Is your fear of loss much greater than your desire for gain? Does the path you're on capture your heart? Do you think you can lead a successful, sinful life? Do you try to heal your hurts, or do you memorize them? If you had the power to do anything, how would you decide what to do? Think about that. How would you feel if you didn't accomplish your goals? Are you willing to pay the price of success? If you could become famous for one thing in life, what would that be? If not you, then who? If not now, then when? You might have heard of some of these already. Do you have a bright future? Yes or no? Why? Are you willing to give up what you have in order to become what you are not yet? Are you thinking of security or opportunity? What's the best use of your time right now? Do you know where you're going? Optimism is related to faith. Pessimism is related to doubt. Which are you related? Are you traveling or are you going somewhere? What's the most important to you in life? What good is inspiration if it's not backed up with action? What can you do to make yourself more valuable? Do you think more about what you ought to do or what you ought to be? Would the boy in you, um, excuse me, would the boy you were be proud of the man you are? Are you content with failure? Does your reach exceed your grasp? Did you know you're destined to be different? What progress are you standing in the way of? These are just wonderful, right to the heart. Do you have opinions or convictions? Do you say, I must do something? Or do you say, something must be done? Do you say, let's find a way, or there is no way? Are you a quote how thinker or an if thinker? What can you do to make better use of your time? What can you do to make better use of your time? Do you say there should be a better way to do it, or that's the way it's always been? What would a truly creative person do in your situation? Do you have a strong will or a strong won't. I like that one. Are you making a living or a life? If you aren't going all the way, why go at all? Forget your past. Who are you now? Who have you decided to become? After a failure or mistake, do you give up or get up? Do you expect miracles? Now that it's behind you, what did you do yesterday that you're proud of today? Are you steering or are you drifting? Quote from Jesus. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Those are just some examples of looking inward. These next batch is looking outward. Which would you rather have, a bouquet of flowers or a packet of seeds? Yeah. Is fear causing you to run from something, and isn't that after you? I'm sorry. Is fear causing you to run from something that isn't after you? Where else can you look for answers and ideas? Both enthusiasm and pessimism are contagious. Which one do you spread? If you were to pay $10 for every kind word you ever spoke and collect $5 for every unkind word, would you be rich or poor? Are you ready for opportunity when it comes? Do you leave others better than you found them? Does adversity shape your life? Does adversity shatter or shape your life? What is the value of the things you do most? 10 years from today, what will you wish you had done now? If you were another person, would you like to be a friend of yourself? Every once in a while, ask yourself the question, if money weren't a consideration, what would I like to be doing? When was the last time you did a random act of kindness? That's pretty poignant. Do you ever make others feel bigger or smaller when they're around you? What will you have to go through to get where you want to be? Are you controlled by your thoughts, or are you controlling your thoughts? Need that over there. How can you get from here to wherever it is you want to be? Do you look at the horizon and see an opportunity, or do you look into the distance and fear a problem? Does something have to happen in order for you to feel good? Whom do you usually blame when little or big things go wrong? Are you too proud to ask for help? How many people of great potential have you known? Where on earth do they all go? Where should you focus? Where should your focus be? When confronted with a Goliath-sized problem, which way do you respond? He's too big to hit, or like David, he's too big to miss? What walls are you building right now? What resources are right in front of you? Do you say, I'm good, but not as I good, not start over. Do you say, I'm good, but not as good as I ought to be? Or do you say, I'm not as bad as a lot of other people? Whether you hear opportunity knocking, how can you answer that knock? Do you ask more of yourself than others do? Do you admit, I was wrong, or do you say, it wasn't my fault? When a person strikes, ask, when a problem strikes, ask, why me? Or what can I learn from this? What one thing should you eliminate from your life because it holds back from reaching your full potential? Are you running from something or are you running to something? What outside influences are causing you to be better or worse? Whom do you need to forgive? What good thing have you previously committed yourself to do that you have quit doing? What is one thing you can do for someone else who has no opportunity to repay you? I like that. Do you make friends before you need them? If the future generations were dependent on you for spiritual knowledge, how much would they receive? How many people do you know become successful at something they hate? If you were arrested for being kind, would there be enough evidence to convict you? For some reason I smile at that. Why should people do business with you instead of your competitors? Really good question. What task do you most frequently pull off until tomorrow that you should do today? Do your friends, family, business associates increase your dreams or decrease your vision? How many successful complainers do you know? Don't point fingers. How many happy, selfish people do you know? When it comes to doing things for others, are you one of those people who would stop at nothing? When confronted with an obstacle, do you become bitter or better? If you say, if we can, do you say, if we can, or how can we? Are you blending in or are you standing out? Are you known for a solution or a problem? Do you jump at opportunities as quickly as you jump at conclusions? What do you have to contribute that will make a difference? What do you have to contribute that will make a difference? When things go wrong, do you go with them? Did you today in any way make the world a better place in which to live? Are you keeping in step with the crowd or in step with yourself? What are you actually aiming at? Are you more likely to have an important goal or lack one? Do you allow past circumstances to limit today's happiness? If not now, then when should you do it? The last section here is looking upward. We're almost done. Do you put a question mark where God has put a period? Does God seem far away? If so, guess who moved? Do you say our Father on Sunday and then act like an orphan the rest of the week? In your prayer, how often do you say, and now God, what can I do for you? Do you say, good morning, Lord, or oh no, Lord, it's morning? Are you putting out fires that God started? Did you say thank you to God before you ask for something or only after you get it? Do you believe that you were destined to be doing what you are doing? Why or why not? Are you really thankful? What cause are you living for? When God tells you to do something, do you talk back? Do you see God everywhere or nowhere? What puts meaning in your life? Is God your hope or your excuse? Do you take things for granted or with gratitude? Are you willing to preach what you practice? How can the Lord guide you if you haven't made up your mind which way you really want to go? And when I went through my library, this kind of jumped out at me in preparation for today. So I thought it was a really great, because I do like the books that I refer, and hopefully some of you put them on your book list and get them. But this one, I don't even know the date on it, but John L. Mason asked. Wonderful little synopsis. And I want to kind of finish or close with this. All of us have strengths and weaknesses. We hide most of our weaknesses and exacerbate and increase most of our strengths, what we consider strengths. We are a people building people business. These aren't directed to you. You all have your strengths and weaknesses, as I do, as we all do. But this is a people business. When you're talking to people and you're going to spread this business, more comes with it than just spreading numbers, doesn't it? You're helping people. And so are you setting a good example? Because this business is built on duplication. So whatever you do or don't, guess who's going to follow? So people watching. And that's why it's so important to be more aware of posture, dress, attitudes, what we say, how we address people, learn from it, learn from the mistakes, get to know those people so you become really true partners with them. You can help them. That's just with asking questions. So a young person that's wide-eyed, man, the world is at their fingertips. How can you help them focus and be more and use that energy and enthusiasm to focus more on a project? Well, life scenario has a way to do that, doesn't it? It brings it back to perspective. Older people, old of us oldies, many people have years of poverty, years of sadness, years of disappointments. How do you direct that person into having a vision? How do you direct that person into stepping out and reaching for something positive? Difficult, by asking questions. Certainly knowing temperaments and personalities is and I've mentioned this before, and maybe I'll do it again, but the personality profiles, write that down, is one of the most important books, in my opinion, that it changed my life when I read it in the middle of my practice. It allowed me to open my eyes up and become a better therapist. I listened to more people. I was able to talk in their language so I can talk with them, not at them. I was able to hire the right person for the right job. It truly changed my life in that respect, and I think it can change yours. Personality profiles. Understanding where you are is important, but then how can you relate to those other people? So the key here is tapping into a vision. What's their dream? Not just tapping into their bank account, because every business requires that you invest in it, and this is no different. But every personality and every household is different. How can we get around that aspect by just creating a goal for a challenge? Well, some of us have that in mind first and foremost, don't we? It's really important to judge that based on that person's situation. So how do you get around that? Well, the simplest way is recruit more people. So there's more volume generated. It may take longer, but you're not creating the debt on that side. There's people that's a real valuable part to it. Others, it's okay. That's up to you as the leader to make those decisions. Because remember, this business is built on duplication. So helping people, asking their questions is really, really vital. So kind of in closing here, where you are today is because really of the questions that we ask ourselves. Should I turn left? Should I turn right? The thin threads of life. Do I move there? Do I move here? So we focus, we pray, we make these decisions, but we ask ourselves these questions. That's why we are where we are. And so that will never change as long as we're living. In order to change where you are or where you want to be, you have to ask yourself the right questions. And are those questions correct? And The answers, are they shaping your life? That's really in, I'm not trying to get too emotional or too down deep into the gutters here, but as people, we have a responsibility, not just for ourselves, but our family and those that we're working with. We must help those people. That's being a good partner. So how do they even think about a dream? Well, if they become an Atomy and they want to be a business owner and build it, my life scenario is a perfect way to start that. I can get that on.
Face your face again.
All right, you know what it is.
Yeah. Life's not.
My face is too big. This is.
Right. Oh,
See?
this is something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kay's trying to take me off the camera. I understand, Kay. I have a face for radio. But at any rate, the scenario is the key, because by filling that out and doing that, you're focusing now on a target, and you're helping them attend that target. So what does that mean? What kind of car do they want? Take them to the automobile place. Guess what? You're introducing this business to other people. You're showing them how to contact and invite. They like a different house. Go to homeowner, or go to open houses and house sales. Whatever they're looking for, help them with that dream. And in the meantime, you're presenting yourself and contacting and inviting. And you're also in introducing them to no's, because a lot of people are going to say no. So again, you learn from that. They learn from that. Doesn't mean it's going to stop. You keep going, because you're going to find the yeses. All of you are here by saying yes. Now, your capacity to build this business is whose? Whose responsibility is that? Kay's. Okay. I couldn't resist, Kay. So I want to close with this. If your dream is big enough, the facts don't count. You have to focus on yourself. Put your vision together. Put your blinders on and create a plan. But evaluate that. Plan, do, check, and adjust. I've mentioned often. You set a plan. Your goal is written in ink. The plan to get there is written in pencil, because it's going to change. So it always convolutes. It's always going to be changing. But as long as we're going toward a goal, we have to be flexible to recognize that what is not working, what does work, what can work, do something different to cause that. So again, it's up to you. It's your business. So with that said, let's just go for the moon, man. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gary. Really appreciate every time we learn or something about so many things of today too. Thinking about ourselves too. Ask yourself, we are really doing good way. And so when you're doing this business, so many questions for ourselves. So today we go one more time. So it's really appreciate one more time. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you.
And if you have any questions, raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Yes, we're here, Christian.
Go ahead, Maria. Go ahead, Christina.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Christina. Okay, I told them to watch.
We are Christians here. I've learned a lot from you, Mr. G. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. We are learning from you and through Kay that the business, what kind of business we are in, that is very, very financial, that financially we can really gain from it. Thank you, Mr. G.
Thank you. Yes, Paul.
Gary, as usual, your presentations are so insightful and so helpful. Now, there were so many questions asked that I couldn't pinpoint one specifically that I like more than the others, but I like your summation probably the best. I worked most of my career as an accountant, and it's working with numbers, and it's very impersonal type of profession. You, however, have been blessed with working, in physical therapy, where you actually help people physically. And I'm not saying your job is better than mine, but at the same time, we both decided that once we were done with our full-time jobs, if you want to say it that way, that we came to Atomy. And I think Atomy, and I hope everybody's listening, that, no matter what your profession was or is, you're helping people with Atomy. You're introducing them to helpful products. And as Gary was saying, help them accomplish their goals, especially if they're halfway through their careers. And I find that very enticing. That's one of the reasons I stayed with Atomy as much as I did, because it's such a helpful business to be in. Whether you're looking to get rich, that's kind of nice too. But I think most people that are part of the business really want to do it to not only get rich, but also to help people, help themselves become healthier people. So I'm so glad you pointed that out, Gary, because you've seen it all. You've seen the helping people physically, and now you're helping them, kind of mentally and emotionally. So I always salute your presentations. You always make a great point. And I don't know where you get these books, but boy, they're a treasure. So thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
Aja.
Thank you.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Wonderful. Tina, you want to say anything? And yeah, come here. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Hello, beautiful Atomians.
Hi, Tina.
My name is Tina Chin, and I'm a diamond master from Las Vegas Redrock Center. I appreciate all these questions because very important to ask a question to ourselves. If we ask the right question,
Mhm.
and our brain will go to work the right way, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so I really appreciate that you brought all these questions to share with us.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
That's it.
Thank you so
That's
much,
Aja.
Tina. Really appreciate. Yeah. So okay. So if you
Thank
Yeah.
you, Tina, but also
yeah.
you can certainly get this book online. I think it's available. I'm not sure, but also even if not, Kay's recording this, so you can go back and get. Now, there's a lot more questions in the book than what I brought up as well. So it's a great read.
Yeah, and then also Miriam is raise your hand. So please, Miriam, would you say something? Yes.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And I would like to say to Gary, as always, this time you really outdid yourself. I'm having information overload.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, all the things that you have mentioned, it's something to reflect. Actually, you have so many that each and every day for the whole year, you cannot be invited anymore. And yes, these are questions to really ponder. And each and every day, we really have to ask these questions just to make sure where we are and where we want to go. And of course, just to make it short, I would say I will have to make a summary of all the things that you just mentioned today, because as I said, it's information overload.
I know.
My acronym for ASK is always seek knowledge. And I think that's appropriate for this session today. So thank you again so very much for always contributing personal development, as we really need it, because this is about also relationships, as you've mentioned. And each and every day we encounter people, and we have to know these people so that we can be better, not only ourselves, but to make us better.